Hello. It's a little experiment to see how this works. We're digging a ditch for a drainage swale for this winery warehouse. Switching to the bucket with teeth so I don't break the contraption. Again, I broke it yesterday because it's kind of cobbled together, not shittily, but the welds are not very strong, so I got to be gentle with it. But we use the 3-foot bucket with the teeth to dig out the hard dirt. Get Gavin to move over where he's a little bit closer to me. Working with Gavin in the loader, and that's Danny and running the laser. Both pretty good guys. Easier to move dirt when the place you're moving into is closer. So I like to keep them as close as possible so I don't have to swing all the way around every time. So I'm just roughing out these wings so the bucket doesn't have to do as much work. Grading bucket with the wings. Working in Paso Robles, just a block or two away from the airport. The airport's off to the left, and this is going to be a winery warehouse. I don't know which winery it's for, but there's plenty of wineries around this town. Camera placement is a little awkward for me. I wish there was a way to change the direction of the forward camera so I could put it off to the side, but I don't think I'll be doing this very often until I figure out a different way to doing it, because the camera is like right in the way of where I'm digging, so it makes it a little hard. Get permission from my boss to post these. Really just making it for my dad. Hi, Dad. Because he loves watching construction videos and stuff, so why not show him some of my work. I was showing him some time lapses, and I'll probably make those public. I have them unlisted right now, but I don't know how many of these I'll do, but if I do something interesting, or I'd like to have a way to vent a little bit once in a while. I've been doing this for a long time, not this particularly, but I'm running excavators and working in construction for a long time, so I've learned a few things. I'm still learning things. I don't know everything. I'm wrong all the time. But each time I'm wrong, I learn something. So get better as we go. So Danny's checking the grade there, and I can't get him into view, otherwise he'll take his head off of this stupid bucket. So he pointed to a spot that was good. Now I'm going off of that and trying to go down a little bit at a time. This bucket, or this excavator, has a swivel boom, I guess you'd call it. See if I can get him in frame this time. So down a 100th, so that's close enough for what we're doing. Get Gav to back up a little bit. Change the bucket out and move back a little and start again. I have the hardest time with this quick connect. I'll keep recording because we're gonna hit a pipe right here where this stake is, and hopefully not literally hit it, but if we do hit it, it's not a huge deal because we're going to cut it anyway, and that'll be the where the roof drain comes in at. You can see the roof drain over there, and for some reason this comes in at a date. Well, I guess it needs to come in square to the ditch where we're at, so they ran it at an angle from that little wood you can see down left to that bucket over there. So there's a 10-inch, I think it's a 10-inch pipe coming into the swale. It'll get cut off at the edge of the swale eventually, but I am not allowed to cut it for reasons. So I have to just work around it. So occasionally, if I'm not careful, I will break it. But we'll try not to do that today. Should be right down here somewhere. Now normally, if it was a pipe that I absolutely could not break, I would be having him kind of hand dig a little bit. And also normally there would be some sand on top of it that I could expose and have him dig, but I think right now it's just dirt on the end of it, so it's kind of hard to dig with the shovel. I mean, you could do it, but it's easier for me just to kind of carefully find the end of it. If I was working around a water line or a gas line, this would be absolutely unacceptable. Find a pipe with a bucket. It's never a good idea. But we're doing things a little different today. Little bit of sand there, so hopefully they did put some on the end of it. Looks like it's right there somewhere. There she is. Now we know where it is, we can be a little bit more aggressive on getting the rest of the dirt out. And unfortunately for Danny, he's going to have to do a fair amount of shovel work around this. Give him a little exercise. This job, or this particular project, digging out the swale, is a little bit boring for a laborer because half the time you're just standing there waiting. But and you can't really run off and do things to keep busy. So you got to be there when I need you. You got to be like a spider. You got to be waiting in the web until the fly lands, and then you got to hop in there and do your job really quickly and then get the hell out. So that's what I look for in a good laborer, paying attention, not letting your mind wander too much, and know when I need your help and when to get out of the way. Very important when you're a laborer not to jump in there without getting eye contact, because I work pretty fast, and some might say dangerously fast, but I move the excavator very quickly, and I try to pay attention the best I can, but I'm not perfect. So I try to warn anybody I'm working with that's new, just stay the hell back until I wave you in or we get eye contact. So it's a dangerous environment, and I try to look out for the guys the best I can. But if you're a laborer, you got to look out for yourself too. It's like crossing the street without looking both ways. Like, you can't trust people to look out for your survival. You got to participate in your own survival. So if I was to injure a guy, I would be in big trouble. You know, if someone was careless, let me back that up. If someone was careless and got injured, I'd get in trouble. But you know, they'd be out of a job for a few months. So you know, they gotta participate in watching out and not just expect me to do all the work. I don't know if that's too harsh or what, but there's only so much I can do. Alright, so now that we've got the pipe, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's that green little line sticking through. I'll have Danny come up and clean off the top of that so I can see it better. Got a David working here too, so I'm terrible with names, so I say the wrong name all the time. It's just part of getting old, part of being me. Massive warehouse. Maybe I'll take a video inside one of these days. I've never been much of a wine drinker. I've had it a couple of times, and it's okay. It's just I've never been into it. I've never really got. Is my radio going off? I've never been into wine. I do drink alcohol, but not very often. My dad's allergic to alcohol, so I don't think I inherited that from him. But I've never really felt the need, other than going out to dinner as a social lubricant. It's good for that, but unfortunately that means that I can't drive, so my wife has to drive if I'm going to drink. So we take turns. I'm a huge believer in not drinking and driving. I had a bad experience when I was new drinker. Went out with some friends of my brother's. You know, we went downtown Seattle and got a little wild, and I was pretty naive back then, and we got in the car with a drunk driver, and he had a few issues getting us home. So ever since then, I abhor drinking and driving, and especially, well, even when someone is just having a beer at dinner and then they drive, it just rubs me the wrong way. We've had dinner with my father-in-law, and his wife will have a drink, and then she has to drive because he's blind. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, she wants to have a drink with dinner, but he can never drive, so it's just, I hate that situation. I hate being put in that situation where I have to be a part of that in a small way. So, I'm not sure how I got off on this tangent, but whatever. This little mount is really annoying. It's strong, but it's not strong enough for a machine, so I'm gonna have to come up with something a little bit better. I've got some stronger magnets that I might try to attach to this little mount. I do love having a magnet mount on a phone. It just, I have it in my car, and let's see, let's just throw this in a pile over here. And you might be wondering why I'm loading into a loader when the stockpile is 10 feet away, and that's a good question. And I would ask my boss that, but most of my day is spent trying to figure out ways to avoid asking my boss questions. So we don't ask questions on this job. Questions are bad. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is when you're a manager of a supervisor of people and you get mad at people for asking questions. It's just the dumbest thing ever. It's like, why would you discourage people from getting more information to do the job correctly? But if I asked him, he might say, oh yeah, well that's obvious, let's not load into a loader when the pile's 10 feet away. But whatever. It's not, I've learned to, well, I'm learning to just pick my battles. So now I'm getting this edge down to, we need to be 6 inches down. This rock that they're putting in here is extremely expensive apparently. So we don't want to put any more rock in than we have to, because we only get so much, and then that's it. So I'm trying to get this edge down to 6 inches without breaking the wing. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on this wing, unfortunately. So I got to be careful. That weld right at the edge of the grading bucket in the wing, right down at the bottom there at the cutting edge, is where it breaks all the time. So I'm trying to, instead of putting the load way out at the end, I'm trying to keep it closer to the weld. And that might be counterintuitive, I don't know, but the closer I can get to that is going to be less strain on the weld. So that might be close. Can't really do much on the other side. You can't see it because it's so wide, but alright, let's try that. And you can kind of watch the wing. That little end piece is 6 inches, I think. So as long as that's roughly the top of that little cut, we're close enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Call that good. You'll see if Danny likes it. excuse me, 200 slope. 2/10 would be too much. 200s, whatever. That's the last, yeah, that's the last paint mark I have, so I think I'll end the recording now. That's enough jabbering for today. You get the idea. I mean, a lot of it's just going to be him shoveling, so say goodbye for today. Dad, I hope you enjoy. I'll do a few of these. I don't know how many, but see how it goes. Talk to you later.